Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Q&A part 2. So if you haven't seen the other Q&A I did, I will link it in the I believe it's on this side. And I did kind of like a live update and a Q&A on me moving to America and some of your questions. And I got a few more on Instagram after I'd kind of read them all and filmed that video, and I got some on YouTube as well. So I'm going to go through that, and you did say you wanted a part 2 because I'm sure there's loads of questions to be answered. So that's what today's video is going to be. Sorry again for the setup, it's not great, but again, the lighting, this is the best lighting I can kind of get in this apartment. So yeah, sorry about that, but I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, do subscribe and I will get straight into it. Thank you so much for your positive response to my previous video. It got like ranked #1 within like the 24 hours on like the YouTube statistics. So I'm really glad you enjoyed that video. So as I said, I'll be doing a part 2. So if I'm looking down, it's because I got all the questions on my phone. But I'll go through the Instagram ones first, and then I will go through the YouTube ones. The first one is, some of them are to do with America and some of them are more random, but I'm going to answer all of them. So the first one is, welcome to America, thank you. When is the wedding and will we see some wedding photos? So as I explained in my previous video, I am married now. We had to do the courthouse wedding because of like the visa I'm on. You have to do it within, you have to marry within 90 days. So it's really like kind of strict time-wise. So you can't really plan like a whole wedding traditionally in that amount of time. So we're in the middle of planning like a second wedding. Kind of like what you traditionally think of as a wedding. Like I could wear my dress, like walk down the aisle, have the ceremony, have the reception, but like legally I am married now. So I'm sure when that comes I will put up some stuff on Instagram and you will see, but there's not really like any photos to share yet. But I'm sure I will put something on my Instagram story. If you do want to follow me on Instagram, it's at simply_spooky. I will put it on the screen for you here. So the next one is, I already dress alternative, but I want to look more so, but not childish. Just couldn't read then. How do you dress alternative? I'm in my early 30s. I don't want to look like I'm in high school. So that was kind of all of the same question. I mean, there's definitely ways you can dress that don't make you look childish or like you're in high school or secondary school. I mean, I don't really mind looking younger, and I think looking alternative in general just makes you look younger. I feel like that's just a thing. Even when like I've seen videos of people dressing their mum as like goth or alternative, it just takes off 10 years. So I think there's something, I don't know if it's to do with the makeup or what, but I feel like alternative people or gothic people or whatever just look younger. Like a lot of people can't believe that I'm 25, but I mean, I do go for the kind of, not childish, but I just like bows. I just like them. If you really didn't want to look childish, I mean, you can wear kind of like, I mean, traditional goth to me doesn't look childish, you know, like fishnet tights and leather. I mean, that definitely doesn't look childish because like children aren't going to wear like leather dresses or leather skirts and fishnets. It's not really what they wear. So I would look into either like, I don't know, it depends on your style really, but like Victorian goth or traditional goth like winkle pickers. I mean, it really depends on what you like, but I don't think it could really look like you're in high school, to be honest. It just depends on what you like, but maybe avoid, if you really don't want to look like that, maybe things with bows or frilly socks or like those types of things. If anyone else has any advice for this one, let me know in the comments. But yeah, as I said, I feel like it does make you kind of look younger. I don't know why, I've always kind of thought that. But there's definitely ways you can dress that don't make you look childish or even like corporate goth, like pencil skirts, heels, like kind of just take the more an adult outfit, but just like make it all black and add some accessories. The next one is, what is your favorite goth related bands? Love your videos. Thank you. My favorite like goth band like with the label would be Sisters of Mercy. I'm actually really excited because I spent an hour and a half this morning queuing on Ticketmaster to buy the Sisters of Mercy tickets, which I'm very excited about. They're definitely my favorite group. I love like Lucretia, My Reflection, or The Temple of Love, and yeah, they're definitely my favorite goth group. I also like Depeche Mode, but I probably like more of the Sisters of Mercy music. And I also like a few of the Cure songs. I was listening to Burn this morning, but I'm not a huge Cure fan, but I like a few of their songs, and I would see them live if I had the opportunity. But definitely like my favorite would be the Sisters of Mercy or Depeche Mode. Another one is how did you learn to paint your own nails, or do you get them done often? I thought this question was really funny because my sister actually mocks me for how I paint my nails, because when I paint them I get like the entire nail, and of course it goes all around the sides but the next day, because you're like washing your hands or like showering, the next day it comes off and you just got perfectly painted nails. So it looks a bit dodgy to start with, but like the next day it's then perfect. So that's my method. So I do my own nails. I've actually never had my nails painted like by a shop or had gel or acrylic. I like to keep my nails short. I do play the cello as well, and when you're like fingers on the strings, you literally can't have long nails like at all. So I've always done my own nails. That also means I can like pick the color, like exactly what I want. I have like a big nail polish collection, and I just prefer to do it myself really. And gel, like I like the idea of gel polish because it doesn't chip, but then you have to like go and get it taken off, and then I don't know. I've just always done my nails myself, but I mean it does chip after a while. They're pretty okay. And the last one on Instagram is, what made you decide to move to America? Was it because of your fiance? Again, I kind of addressed this one in my last video, so yes it was. That's the whole reason I moved, basically, to marry him and live here. So I also put up like a question on YouTube, so maybe I'll take a look at that first just to see if I had any other comments on that, and then I'll go through the ones on the video. Someone asked, are you excited to go Halloween shopping now that you're in America? I can't believe I missed this out when I said like what I was looking forward to in America. Definitely Halloween shopping, and obviously like when I can work and I can afford to buy like non-necessities like clothes and like things from small businesses, like I am excited about that because there's so many businesses here I love, like Motet's Dame, what's that lipstick brand, Black Moon. I did buy 2 lipsticks from them like a month ago maybe. What's that cute one? Em & Sprout, like I love them. Strange Cult, the shoe company. Oh, there's so many good brands over here. So yes, I am very excited to shop from both small businesses and Halloween shopping. Like shops like Michael or Michael's, is it Michael or Michael's? I don't know. At Home, Hobby Lobby, they do really good like autumnal decorations and Halloween decorations. So I am excited for that. Okay, someone asked, congratulations on the move. Thank you. I'm in the UK, oh okay, and my partner is in America. How easy / difficult was the visa process? Do you have any advice now you have been through it? So I'm kind of through that part of it, but I'm still very much in the process, because after you do your K1, you marry, you then send off your adjustment of status, which is a green card. Again, I'm not a lawyer, do not take this as legal advice. And then you also have to do like your work permit and your advance parole, I think that's right. So basically permission to be a permanent resident, to work and to leave the country. So that's in processing right now, and it's been 5 weeks and it hasn't been touched. So it's a very long process. And even after that, I think it's valid for 2 years, and then you have to extend it, and then there's the whole process if you want to be a citizen after like 5 years. So it's a very long process. It can be expensive. I mean, it is like fairly difficult. I mean, it's not impossible, but you do have to be prepared for wait times, because we waited about 2 years before the paperwork was, well, before I got here probably. The paperwork took, I think a little over a year, like the first form to process. So the wait times are long, so you have to be prepared for that. There are fees at like every point, like to send the first form, then like to adjust your status, the medical, and the interview. Like there's fees for everything. So, and you also have to be prepared for when you do come over to not be able to work for a mystery amount of months. So it's kind of, it's a big change, it's a lot. I'm still in it, so I don't know how much advice I can kind of give, but my main thing that I have stuck to throughout the whole thing is just take one thing at a time. Like I'm like, nope, don't focus on all the other things, just stick to one thing, get that sorted, and then move on to the next thing. So like when I was back in the UK, like people would be like, oh, what are you going to do about this, what are you going to do about this? It's like, nope, I'm just focusing on packing my things. I'm packing my things, I'm getting them on the container, that's my main focus. So just taking one step at a time, because it's so easy to just get completely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you have to do. So that's my main piece of advice at the moment. But as I said, be prepared for the fees and the wait times and just everything being very different, but it's not impossible. What are some places that you want to see now that you live in America? Any plans on traveling anywhere? So I think I mentioned this in another question for like what am I looking forward to, but I have some like haunted places magazines, and I love traveling. I love seeing like all the dark history. I love like doing like crazy amount of steps, just like seeing everything in a place. But I really want to go to New Orleans. I know there's a vampire cafe, there's a graveyard that looks really cool, there's a museum of death, why not? Just like lots of dark history things that I really want to see. Also, of course, Salem, I definitely want to go there. So yeah, those are the main two places that I really want to see in America. But anything spooky I'm up for. What will your wedding be like? Will it be spooky? So I'm not really going with like a gothic theme as such, I don't think. I thought I was going to, but I'm going for more like the Regal black, gold, red kind of vibe. And the venue we're looking at the moment is actually an old church, but it's like converted into a event space. So it's got like stained glass windows, gothic architecture, it's an old building. It will be spooky a little bit, but my dress is white, but it will have like spooky gothic elements in it, but it won't be a full-on like Halloween themed wedding. It will be more like, if this all goes to plan, more like Regal, fancy kind of gothic. So yes. I think those are all the questions on my YouTube post. So now I'll find that video and go through any questions that I got on that one. I did get a lot of comments on that video, which was really nice, so thank you for that. I always like reading your comments. Okay, I don't know how many questions, so one of these might be the last one because I'm just scrolling. But one of them again is, what advice would you give to any Brits thinking of emigrating to the USA? What are the do's and don'ts of living in the USA? So again, like that kind of goes to the advice that I gave like, I don't know, 2 questions ago, but just be prepared for like the fees, the wait times, and the fact that everything is different. I don't think I realized like how much would be different when I was back in the UK. Like people were like, oh, are you stressed? And I was very chill. And then I think it hit me when I got here, because I kind of am more like a live in the moment kind of person, so I wasn't thinking too far out. Yeah, so you have to be prepared for it to be different. You will feel homesick, definitely, and also if you're moving away from like your family and friends, it is hard, but it does get better with just time and everything. In terms of like the do's and don'ts, I don't know, I just feel like it's, maybe I can answer this a bit further down the line. Do you have any difficulty understanding the many accents now in your new home? So I don't have a problem understanding other Americans because I'm like, Ohio's quite north. It's not as like heavy as like a Texas accent, like in comparison. So it's not, I don't find it difficult because I'm also used to watching American movies. Like I was talking to my now husband like every day for like 2 hours. So I'm very used to hearing American accents, and like even in music, like I feel like in the UK we're quite used to hearing American accents. Whereas if you switch it around, it's completely different. So I don't have any problem understanding people here, unless it's like a word that I'm just like, what does that mean? Like I knew it was called soda, but they also call it pop over here, and like that was something I didn't know. So just like maybe like a few words that I might not understand, but some people do have difficulty understanding me because I think just they're not used to hearing British accents as much as we're used to hearing American accents. So to be honest, it hasn't been like a lot of the time, but I've had people not understand when I said tomato, when I ask for water. Usually when I go to a restaurant, I'll have Tony say water and I'll just be like, I'll have the same, because it just avoids everything. I've definitely had it on a few occasions where they don't understand me saying water, or even people ask for my name, I say Kirsty, they hear Cassidy. So yeah, just a lot of differences. So that's probably the main thing, is that people sometimes can't understand me. It's not usually the other way round. I have anything settled with the wedding? Not yet. We're kind of in like the quote stage and kind of going back and forth with that, so nothing really yet. Were you able to bring all your clothes? I was. I had some clear outs before I left, and then I put them all in those like bags that suck all the air out, like squish them down, and yeah, I just packed them in that. Everything turned out really well, actually. Nothing broke. I did wrap everything extremely well, so I'd honestly be surprised if something broke, but like traveling from one end of the world to the next, like everything survived. Would love to hear about the goth and alternative scene where you are. So I've never really been to goth events, like even when I was living in the UK. Yes, they might have some stuff in London, but it's kind of like a train trip away, and then it's like awkward with like coming back, and just I don't know, I just never really went to events like that. Like I've been to some like themed restaurants and stuff, but that's something I definitely want to do more here, because about 15 minutes away in like a different area, they have a lot of gothic events. Like they have like a World Goth Day event, a goth prom, they have like a Matrix themed thing, and they have like DJs, food, raffles, and it's like proper goth events. So I'd love to go to that. We are thinking of going to one of them soon. So maybe I can report back on that. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And also, as I mentioned, like going to more like gothic music events. But in terms of like the actual people, like I feel like because I'm in a city which is Cleveland, there's loads of sports things, so everyone dresses really sporty, like kind of sports hoodies, or like the top, like the vests, trainers, like everyone from my, like I can see someone running right now, like everyone dresses really sporty. But I've seen a few alternative people mainly at gaming events.
No.
Hey, I'm filming.
Oh.
Yeah, as I was saying, I've seen a few alternative people, but not as many as I see in the UK. And also, like, I've noticed like hardly any people wear Doc Martens, where I was used to see Doc Martens in the UK. What did your parents think about the move? They were really supportive. Obviously it's sad for them, they miss me. I'm assuming. But they were really supportive. They've always said like if I need any help with anything, they're like always up to help, and if I ever need like a place to stay, like I can go back there and everything. So they've been really supportive, and I FaceTime them like a couple times a week, so we definitely still talk a lot. Does your husband have his own place, or are you living with his parents? He has his own place, and I had like a few comments being like, oh, he should have moved to the UK. We based it off of a number of reasons. Also, he was like fully set up here. He's got his own apartment, his own car, his like full-time job, whereas I shared a car, didn't have my own place, and I was doing like my business, which isn't enough for a full-time job yet. So there were a number of reasons why we decided that, yeah, I live in this apartment with him. Also, going back to like goth makes you look younger, I had someone leave a comment saying I thought you were a teenager. Nope. Has your husband been to the UK? Will you have your wedding in the US or the UK? So we will have it in the US. He's got a lot of family nearby, and my parents are gonna come over, like fly over. So that's that. And he has been to the UK twice, so we've been back and forth visiting each other. That was the last question. So again, thank you so much for your questions. I don't think we need a part 3, but I do enjoy kind of more like chatty videos, and I don't know if you enjoy those too. But yeah, so I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments as well, just leave them below and I will get back to you. But yeah, I've got some clothing hauls coming up soon as well, from gift cards. So do stay tuned for that if you prefer my kind of fashion content. Do like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye.